Hello there. Welcome to Bottles to Consider. I have lots of thoughts and feelings about water bottles and just sort of, like coffee, tea to go, thermoses, liquid holders, hydration, companions. We'll get to all the ideas and thoughts I have about it with time. Right now, I just want to start in on what maybe you're here actually for, which is the review of a water bottle that I think is a really great, just everyday around town water bottle. But that said, there's also not one water bottle for everything, one perfect bottle for every activity and every type of use. So I'll tell you where I think this one excels and where it might not be a great fit. So without any further ado, here it is. This is the Swell brand. There you can see. Swell brand. Original bottle. Original is in, capital O. This is like their normal original shape. Other important thing about this is it's 25 ounces. And I think maybe if you've seen these bottles before, you might be more familiar with them as the 16 ounce, which actually goes up to like here-ish. And that's actually one of the first things I want to get to why I think this is a great bottle. For me, 16 ounces, just not quite enough water to just have on hand. So I work at a desk most of the day, and I just have to get up too frequently if all I've got next to me is a 16 ounce water bottle. Never mind if I'm going out and I have like half of the bottle full and I didn't do a full refill before going out. It's like, okay, I have a sip of water. I have to ration this on my subway ride or whatever. I don't take the subway anymore. I live in Rhode Island, but that used to be a thing. So I think if you can handle having a bigger thing, you're not going to regret it. Especially because another nice thing about this, even for its size, it's very cup holder friendly. This diameter on the bottom, I've been able to fit it in any cup holder I have been at, in a movie theater, in multiple cars, as opposed to some wider bottles that hold this amount or like that hold a 32 ounce amount. This is, I think, a nice middle ground of volume of water it holds, but still fits in a lot of places. And now, that means it's a little tall, but it's not like crazy. It's like, 13, 12 inches. I think it's fine, personally. Some other things I really love about this water bottle. The seal, you don't have to think much about it. It just, you close it, and it's like nothing's ever going to happen liquid-wise. You don't have to like really crank on it. It's just easy. You don't have to think about it. Because I just think you don't want to have to think about if water is going to spill somewhere most of the time. Maybe you have a situation where you want a perfect bottle with a certain type of mouth opening for your car, for your commute. And in that case, it doesn't matter, the seal quality. But we'll get into that sort of stuff later. Right now, we're focusing on just kind of an all-purpose bottle. Another thing I love about this bottle, and this is really important to me, but might not be that important to you. But if you care about it, you probably care about it a lot. This bottle holds seltzer wonderfully. It holds carbonated bevs in general wonderfully. I think I put a beer in here once and brought it to a movie, and it was great. And what I mean by holding carbonated beverages wonderfully is that when you open the cap, sometimes even on high quality bottles, this doesn't like correlate with quality. As you're opening a carbonated thing, it'll pop out like a champagne cork. I mean, not crazy, not like fly across the room, but like kind of a scary little poof. I just don't want to have to deal with that. And I have had some water bottles, some really good ones, which we'll get to in future episodes, that do that. And for me, it's just a deal breaker because I have like a charge make soda water at home thing. And I love being able to make a big thing of seltzer, throw it in here. It's insulated, which is another thing that's nice. We'll get to that. And then I just have like cold, fully seltzer ready for me at any point when I crack it open. That's huge to me. Yeah, so insulation, it's got the whole double wall vacuum insulation, makes that gong noise. Here, I'll go down. Which actually is kind of annoying, but it does stay like exactly whatever temperature you want for as long as you could want. I mean, I don't even, people talk about keeping things hot for 24 hours. It's like, that's never been a thing in my life I've wanted. I only find it matters in that it keeps cold water on a hot day cold for like basically as long as I could care. I personally don't actually care much about insulation. Even if this wasn't a great insulating bottle, it might still be my go-to. But if that really matters to you, you're also in luck because it has great, insulative properties. Here's a big thing I really care about as well, which is the sort of sipping ergonomics. So this bottle, the opening is about, it's like 1.25 inches, I want to say, maybe a little more. And for me, it's the sweet spot. It's big enough that it fits, I can kind of get this under some sinks if I'm like trying to fill up water, like in a bathroom or something like that. It can fit most ice cubes as well. Not all ice cubes, but many. Sometimes with bigger bottles, I have to like put like hot. I'm not illustrating it great. I think you know what I mean. And then it's just like you're asking for a spill. You have to move your whole head back, and there's not like a tight seal. And it's not just really big ones like Nalgene's. It's ones that are just enough that they kind of bump into your nose. Whereas this one really locks in right around here. So I'll show you. So easy to drink. If I don't want to move my head, I don't have to. That's huge for me. I think this really depends though on like your, the shape and size of your mouth. So I can't say for certain that this is going to be a perfect fit like that for you. But if it's something you value, it's definitely worth looking into because I think this is a great opening. Maybe sometime in a future video, I'll kind of give all these measurements, sort of like, corner of nose to lip type thing, how much real estate you've got there. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of burping now that I just pounded that water. Oh, and then I want to just say a few challenges, which for me haven't posed as deal breakers, but just something to flag, something to think about. One is, it's not actually the easiest bottle to hold, I have found, particularly at the top here where it kind of tapers. A lot of times if I'm filling a bottle, there's like a little water cooler in my office, and I'll hold the top and kind of, I'll hold the top and kind of like reach down, and then I have the little spigot, and I'm holding it up here, and it really wants to like slip. It's just not, and as the bottle gets heavier, all of a sudden I'm like, that said, most of the time you just hold the bottle there and it's totally fine. There's some big ice cubes it wouldn't be able to hold. This is just a trade-off you're gonna have to live with. Unless you want a big opening with a sort of smaller opening for your mouth, which we'll get into, because there are some good ones of that, but I have thoughts. And then the other thing is some companies, high-end companies, so it's not like a quality thing, that have this vacuum insulated gonging situation, put a rubber pad on the bottom. And I think it makes it so that when you put it down, I'm going to put it down on the table. You can't really see the table. There's one right here, but maybe you can hear. It's just a little loud, right? And like there I'm sort of touching something else and it's just a little loud. That was the edge of like a potted plant. So it's meant to just kind of dampen sound as the bottle travels. I find it makes the bottle stick to the top of the desk in a way that's uncomfortable for me. I personally realize that if I sit at a desk, can you see that there? Yeah, sure. So like, if this is a desk, I put the bottle, I really tend to just kind of like slide it around, get it out of the way, reach for something, slide a little closer to me. If the bottom has that rubber pad, it'll sort of like skid as you move it. And honestly, it's a little bit of a tipping hazard. Probably gets grimy over time too, whereas this is just sort of, it's not like monolithic. There's some little ridge here. So I don't know what's different about this bottom, but texturally it's like the exact same sort of textured dappled metal. This is night sky finish, by the way, if you like how it looks. I think it's nice. It's got a little texture. Here, I'll scratch it into the mic. And if I'm in a meeting, maybe I'll be a little more conscious of sort of gently putting it down. If that's a deal breaker for you, then you might want the rubber pad thing on the bottom. It certainly hasn't been for me. So the three real downsides, this sort of ergonomic thing at the top, loudness when you clank it down on a table, and then that it can't hold every type of ice cube, but really not deal breakers to me. And I think the other things about this bottle make it just great. It holds water, holds seltzer, fits in cup holders, comfy around the mouth, looks nice, has thus far proven pretty indestructible. So I think it's totally worth looking at. It's not going to fit every need, and we're going to get into more bottles later. We're also going to get into hot containers, to-go containers and such. But that's it for now. So this is the Swell original bottle in Night Sky, 25 ounces. I'll put a link in the description. And hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.